Hey, what is up YouTube? This is Lost Inferno Fire Dragon here, and today I'm doing a Super Quantum deck profile for you guys, and it's a little bit different from the normal Quantum. I'll explain after I go over the deck with you guys. So for monsters, I run... Oh, sorry if that's a little bit out of view. I run 3 Super Quantum White Layers. White layer is you can send one non-light super quant monster from your hand or face up field to the graveyard. Special summon this card from your hand into Vent's position when this card is normal, or special summoned. You can spend one super quant monster from your deck to the graveyard, and if you do, this card gains the attribute level and same as the monsters. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can add one super quant fairy alpha from your deck to your graveyard to your hand. You can only use this effect of super quantum white layer once per turn. Then I use 3 super quantum red layers. Red layer is it's basically like a cyber dragon, except when this card is normal or special summoned, you can target one super quant in your graveyard, add it to your hand. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can target one super quant monster in your graveyard, except super quantum red layer. Special summon it cannot activate its effects. So I run 3 of those. And then I run 3 Super Quantum Green Layer. What Green Layer can do is, once he's summoned, he can special summon one other Super Quant monster except himself. And then I run 3 Super Quantum Blue Layers. What Blue Layer does is basically the Searcher. It basically searches your deck for one of the Super Quant cards. You'll want to go for the field spell. And then I run 2 Super Quant Fairy Alphans. They're basically what you use to search for the other cards, for the Super Quant cards. Then I run 2 of each of the hand traps. I run 2 Ghost Bell in Haunted Mansion. Let me just go ahead and fix that up for you. Go ahead and move the Super Quantum stuff out of the way so you guys can see the hand traps. We have Ghost Spell in Haunted Mansion. It is when this card, when a card effect is activated that includes any of these effects, you can discard and negate the activation. Add a card from the graveyard to the hand, deck, or extra deck. Special monster summon from the graveyard. Banish card from the graveyard. You can only use Ghost Spell once per turn. Then I run 2 Ash Blossom. Enjoy Spring. When this is basically, that's all the hand traps do. And then I run 2 Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit. And that can negate stuff. Then I have 2 that are non-hand traps. I run 2 card Ds. Basically, you can summon it and then draw 2 cards, but your turn automatically ends. So if you go first and you have a card or a couple you can use in hand, I'll show you some combos. Then 2 Effect Veilers. And then finally, I run 2 Swift Scarecrows. Basically, if you have Swift Scarecrow in your hand and you don't want to take the damage, it's basically like a Karibo, except Earth attributed. Then we are on to the spells. Hang on real quick. we run 2 of the Super Quant Mech Ship Magnet Carrier. What the Magnet Carrier does is basically you can ditch 1 card from your hand and go straight into the Xyz monsters. Then you run 2 spell shattering arrows. What they do is if my opponent's using continuous spells and all that, I can really hit them for some damage. Twin twisters just to get rid of the back row. I run 1 upstart goblin, 1 day of peace, and 1 monster reborn in case. Use twin twisters, send white layer to the graveyard, target it, bring it back, and then bada bing, bada boom. Then on to traps. Hang on real quick. Then for traps, I run 3 of the Super Quantal Mech Sword Magnet Slayer. What Magnet Slayer can do is equip onto the boss monster for the Super Quantums, and it'll really power it up. I mean, it'll increase the attack points and everything, times its rank. Then I run 3 Super Quantal Union Magna Formation. Basically allows you to go straight into the Megazord, which is, for if you don't know, this is basically based off of Power Rangers for the Super Quantums. Then I run 3 Drowning Mirror Force, and if an opponent's monster declares attacks, I can shovel all of their attack position monsters back into their deck. Then I run 2 Scrap Iron Scarecrows, 2 Drop-Offs. I'll show you what you can do with those in the combo with Card D. 1 Magic Cylinder, 1 Dark Bribe, and 1 Jar of Greed. Jar of Greed's just for extra draw power. And then on to the extra deck. I run 2 Neo Super Quantal Mech King Blaster Magna. This is the Super Quantum Link monster you'll need for the deck, which I run 2 of. Then 2 Super Quantal Mech King Great Magnus. This is the boss monster. I run 2 Luster Rex, 2 Magna Ligers, 2 Ouroboruses, and 2 Grand Pulses. They're basically what you need to form the Megazord. Then going on to the... As I was saying, this is a bit different from the normal Super Quantum deck, because this is a Chaos deck. So for the side deck, I run 3 Honest. This is in case someone decides to attack the Link monster. Then I run 3 Winged Karibo. And then I run 3 Karibo. I'll explain why. The Karibo lets you take 0 damage. Winged Karibo negates it. I run 2 Draining Shields. The Draining Shields allow you to gain life points. I run 1 Ozaki. Then I run 1 Chaos Dragon Levineer, Blackluster Soldier, Envoy of the Beginning, and then I run 1 Chaos Emperor Dragon, Envoy of the End. That's why it's called a Chaos deck, is because of the... That's why I was using those cards for the deck. That's why I was using the Karibos and the Winged Karibo. Okay, so onto the combo. What you want to have for a hand is like maybe a couple of your hand traps, like say Ash and Ghost Bell, and maybe have a card D along with have a drop off and a scrap iron for your hands. Well, maybe not scrap iron. Maybe jar of greed in your hand. Let me just give my deck a quick shuffle and I'll show you what I mean. So this is the card. This is the starting hand you might get. So what you'll do is you'll set Jar of Greed and Drop Off. Set those two. Then you play card D, send it to the grave, and then you draw 2 cards automatically off of that. And say your opponent activates a card during their draw phase, when it's their turn, you play Drop Off. And Drop Off will basically, the card they just drew goes to the grave, and basically what you could do is rub it in their face, play Jar of Greed, and thusly you can draw a card. And what you'll want to do for, in case you do see your super quantums in your hand, like blue layer, green layer, and red layer, and a couple of the hand traps like Ash and Ghost Bell, or the traps I just mentioned. Basically what you want to do is basically special summon red, normal summon green, use green's effect, special summon blue, grab one of the super quantum cards, any which one, link summon, go into the link monster, and then slowly create the Megazords and all that. Zords and Megazords. So, hope you guys enjoyed the video. This is Lost Inferno Fire Dragon, signing off.